Millions of refugees flee their homes and villages every year, attempting to escape persecution, seeking safety somewhere, anywhere. All they want is a place to call home again, a chance to rebuild their lives in dignity. Imagine walking in their footsteps.
World Relief Seattle offers that opportunity through a 3-hour educational simulation experience where groups of youth and adults come to the Seattle office here in the International District to be transformed into refugees on a journey to a safe sanctuary, using a combination of role-playing, cross-cultural activities, video of refugee situation, and hearing the stories of actual refugees. Participants come to understand better the plight of a refugee, as well as how to better serve our refugee community.
Participants get a taste of the reality of refugee life through role-playing. They walk the streets of the International District dressed in ethnic clothing, where they pass through 3 stations of a refugee camp: the U.S. State Department, the camp feeding station, and a medical clinic. The Refugee Project helps groups appreciate the trauma and desperation that the refugees feel. Participants are grouped into families from different countries: Afghanistan, Burma, Sudan, Somalia, Ukraine, and Iraq. As they go through the 3 stations, volunteers simulate a State Department official, a doctor at the medical screening clinic, and the camp feeding station. An important part of the simulation is that the participants must memorize their family biography so they can prove they are who they say they are to the officials and staff they encounter. The Refugee Project gives participants the opportunity to experience in a very small way some of the hardships refugees suffer as they are victimized by war, terror, and persecution. During the medical clinic, each family group has to face the common reality of serious disease. They have to decide as a family unit whether to accept treatment, which means forgoing their food supply, or they can do nothing and see what happens, thereby enabling the family to eat, but taking a chance with the life of their ill family member. Their fate, whether or not they will be resettled into the U.S., will be determined by the State Department official, who will ask them many unsettling questions. At the feeding station, each refugee family is told how little food they will be receiving and of the hardships of survival in the camp. The simulation experience is followed by debriefing. We discuss what the participants felt as they walked about in their ethnic clothing and passed through the camp stations.
Whenever I travel places, and I travel a lot, like out of the country into different states, I personally hate being a foreigner or being a tourist. I like to blend in and do what everybody else is doing. And it felt really intimidating that you and Mr. Katz and the other lady were like asking us like all of these questions and we didn't really know anything. So it was so like intimidating and pressureful.
Well, I felt some pressure in the interview part because I was the head of the family and I was the only one who could like speak perfect English.
We also have refugees tell their stories. They describe what it was like to come to Seattle to learn to adapt, and they explain the kind of welcome they received. The participants are able to put a real face with what they have just experienced themselves and are able to personally empathize with the painful, real-life story being told to them.
So my father left the house and go with them, and we said, okay, we thank God that he decided to go with them. Well, an hour later, he returned. And he said, you know, he can't go because if he go, they would kill us.
We conclude the Refugee Project discussing what this means to the participants, how this day will make a difference when they go back to their school, church, or organization, how this experience will make a difference in their lives, how they can become involved, making a difference in the lives of the refugees, such as being the first to welcome the refugees to their new home.
My name is Richard Katz, and I'm from Washington Middle School, and here's why I love bringing my students to World Relief here in Seattle to experience what it's like to be a refugee, even for a mere couple of hours. What's great about the actual experience is the kids actually get to see the frustration that refugees have to go through, even in a matter of hours, that they have to push themselves to get through the bureaucracy of the UN, the feeding station, the State Department, and really experience for them what refugees, even for a few minutes, have to do in real life. I urge all teachers to take their middle school, high school, college level students to come to something like this. I think it's really an experience my kids talk about for years after we've done it.
Refugee people are also called a disposable people because they belong nowhere. These people escape from war, persecution, often torture for no reason. Like me, a former refugee from Cambodia who escaped the genocide of Cambodia, I came to United States in 1981, and World Relief helped my family and me with a sponsor. I think people should come to learn about refugee to the World Relief office so that they know and understand exactly how to help them.
So now it's recording a voiceover. And continues playing the movie so you can see, so you can time the voiceover. And when you're done, you press the space bar.